Our teen daughter got her first job. We were proud, until our neighbor uploaded a TikTok of her taking out the trash at work with the caption, "Child labor in my own neighborhood. Should we call someone?" She'd edited it with sad music. Her followers harassed the business. My daughter got suspended. When we knocked to talk, she said, "You're lucky I didn't film her crying too." We live in a quiet town outside Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Suburban streets, dogs barking in the evenings, American flags on porches. The kind of place where people nod from their driveways but don't cross fences. It's safe, small, and steady. My daughter, Molly, turned 16 this spring. She's shy. Polite. The kind of kid who still says, "Ma'am," even when you tell her she doesn't have to. She's always been careful. She doesn't get in trouble. She doesn't go to parties. She's never asked for much. She came to us in February asking if she could get a job after school. She wanted to save up for a used car. She said she was tired of asking us for rides and wanted to be independent. I was proud. We filled out the papers, helped her with her resume, and she got hired at this bakery just a few blocks away, Grady's. They're local. Old couple runs it. Good people. Molly worked 3 days a week from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturdays from 9 to noon. Her job was cleaning, wiping tables, refilling drinks, packaging donuts. And yeah, she took out the trash. It wasn't hard work, but it was real work. She liked it. Now, here's where it all fell apart. 2 houses down lives our neighbor Justine. Early 30s, single, no kids. Moved in 2 years ago. She always seemed off. Friendly, but fake. Always walking around with her phone out, filming stuff, cars speeding, a dog barking too loud, kids skateboarding. Always some post about how the world was broken and she was here to fix it. Turns out, she has a decent following online. Makes activism TikToks. I'm not on it, but others in town have seen her stuff. She films things she thinks are wrong and spins them into stories. Sometimes she's right. Most times she isn't. On a Thursday night, Molly came home early. I was cooking dinner. I heard the front door shut faster than usual. When I turned around, she was halfway down the hall, wiping at her eyes. "Molly?" I called after her. She didn't answer. I followed her to her room. She had buried her face in her pillow. She wouldn't talk at first. Just kept saying, "I didn't do anything wrong." Over and over. 15 minutes later, my husband called me from the living room. "You need to see this." It was a TikTok. From Justine's account. A video, taken from across the alley behind Grady's. It showed Molly, our daughter, taking out the trash. 2 bags in her hands. Tired but not upset. Not crying. Just doing her job. The video had a filter. It looked darker, grayer. The music was slow and sad, like one of those piano songs they play in funeral scenes. And the caption? "Child labor in my own neighborhood. Should we call someone?" Then under that, in bold, "Another example of what capitalism does to kids. No breaks. No choice." It had thousands of likes. Comments pouring in. "Who lets their kid work like this?" She looks so sad. Where are her parents? I hope someone calls child services. And worse. This bakery should be shut down. Post the name of the business. Let's blow it up. By the next morning, the bakery had received over 70 angry calls and emails. Some were threatening. Others were accusing. People said they were abusing minors. A few had already left 1-star reviews calling them criminals. Grady's called us. They apologized. They said they had no choice. They had to suspend Molly. While they investigated. Even though we'd given them the permit. Even though everything was legal. Molly was crushed. She wouldn't leave her room. That night, I knocked on Justine's door. My husband came too. He stood behind me, arms crossed, jaw tight. She opened the door and smiled. That same smug look she always had. The look of someone who thinks they're the smartest person in the room. "Hi," she said, like nothing was wrong. I got straight to it. "You filmed our daughter. You put her online. You made her look abused when she was just doing her job." Justine shrugged. "If you have a problem with what I post, don't watch it," I said. "She's 16. You didn't even ask what the job was. You just assumed." She tilted her head. "It looked wrong. A child carrying trash bags like that? I don't need your permission to show the truth." My husband stepped forward. "You lied. And now she's suspended. You started a witch hunt." That's when she said it. Calm. Cold. "You're lucky I didn't film her crying too. That would have gone viral." "I swear, If I hadn't been holding on to the railing, I might have lunged. But I didn't. I nodded. I turned away. My husband followed. We walked home in silence. Because I knew right then I wasn't going to yell. I wasn't going to post online. I wasn't going to beg her to take it down. I was going to ruin her. Quietly. Carefully. All the way down to the one thing she cared about most. Her following. Her fake image. Her self-righteous brand. I'll continue in the next post. After that night, Justine had no idea what was coming. I didn't tell Molly what we were planning. She was still embarrassed. She deleted all her socials for a while and kept asking if she could just quit the bakery job altogether. I told her to give it time. Let things settle. I spent the weekend doing research. Justine had over 80,000 followers on TikTok. She called herself a neighborhood watchdog. Her videos were dramatic, always edited to stir emotions. She made people angry at made-up villains, then walked away like she'd done something good. Like she was some kind of hero. The more I watched, the more I realized she had a pattern. She twisted what she saw. She filmed people without permission. Cut out context. Added sad music or intense voiceovers. Then she played the victim when people pushed back. But there was something else. She had a few enemies. Some people had called her out in the past. One woman in a neighboring town had commented under a video. "Funny how you edited out the part where you screamed at my kid to stop biking too loud." Another post had a comment from a small coffee shop owner. "You filmed my employee without asking, then refused to delete it even when she said no." So I started messaging people. Quietly. I used a throwaway account and said I was looking into her pattern of harassment. I didn't say who I was. I just asked questions. "What happened? Did you save any footage? Screenshots?" They responded. One woman sent me a screen recording. Justine had posted a video of a dad helping his son set up a lemonade stand. She claimed they were exploiting a child for profit. The video was taken down after the dad's lawyer got involved. Another person had texts. Justine had threatened to expose a high school student for parking too close to her house. Said she'd post their license plate. Said, "People like you ruin neighborhoods." A third woman had audio. Justine yelling at her in a grocery store for not wearing a mask during COVID. The woman had a medical exemption. The picture was clear. Justine wasn't doing this to help people. She was doing it to feel powerful. So I made a new account. I didn't hide my identity. I posted a video. Nothing dramatic. Just the truth. It showed Molly walking to the bakery, smiling, waving at a coworker. It showed her wiping down tables, chatting with a little girl, handing her a cupcake. Then it cut to the job permit signed by us and the business. Then the TikTok Justine had posted, with the caption edited next to it that said, "Filmed without consent." I spoke directly into the camera. "This is my daughter. 16. Working legally at a family-owned bakery. She was proud of her job. Until our neighbor filmed her without asking, twisted the story, and turned her into a target. My daughter lost her job. She lost sleep. She cried for days. Also, someone else could go viral. Then I said, "Justine, if you want to talk about exploitation, let's talk about what you do to people who can't fight back." I posted it on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I tagged the bakery. I used the hashtag that Justine always used, hashtag just to start small. It blew up. The video spread faster than I thought it would. By the end of the first day, it had 60,000 views. That night, local Facebook groups were already buzzing. People in town started commenting, parents, teachers, neighbors. Folks who had stayed quiet about Justine for too long. "This woman filmed my son walking our dog and made it look like he was skipping school. She once called animal control on us because our cat sat on her porch. She blocked me on Instagram after I asked her to take a video of my mom down." The stories came pouring out. Quiet ones. Ugly ones. Some even worse than I expected. Someone shared that she had falsely reported a teacher for emotional abuse because she gave a student a C+. The district found nothing, but the teacher had to take a leave anyway. Another story came out from a girl named Raquel, 19, college freshman. Raquel had worked at the same bakery as Molly last year. Justine had filmed her too. Never posted the video, but had messaged her later saying, "You should quit that job. It doesn't suit you." Raquel had ignored it, but remembered thinking how creepy and intrusive it felt. But here's the twist I didn't expect. One of Justine's ex-friends reached out to me. A woman named Leah. She said they used to be close, until Justine started treating their friendship like a stage. She told me Justine had a private folder on her computer. She kept old videos she didn't post. Some were of kids, neighbors, strangers. She said Justine would review them for potential future content. That word stuck with me. Content. Not people. Not moments. Just material. I asked Leah if she had proof. She said she did. She had screen recordings from Zoom calls they used to have. Justine showing her clips and laughing. One of them was of Molly. In the video, Justine is screen sharing. She plays the clip of Molly crying behind the bakery. From a distance. Blurry. And she says, "This one's good, but too sad. People might call me a bully. Gotta find the balance." That was it. That was all I needed. Leah gave me permission to use it. I posted a follow-up video. This one was careful, slower. It showed Justine's original clip. Then Molly, legally working. Then the Zoom recording. At the end I said, "You called yourself a watchdog. You said you were helping. But what you really did was humiliate a teenager for likes. You hunted for pain you didn't feel. Then you laughed about it. This isn't justice. It's manipulation. I didn't tell people to cancel her. I didn't ask for anything. I just showed them who she was." Within 48 hours, her follower count dropped by over 10,000. Then 20,000. Her videos were flooded with comments. Not cruel ones. Just the truth. "You owe that girl an apology. You used to stand for something. Now you just stand on people. This isn't activism. This is bullying with good lighting." And then, the cherry on top, the bakery called. They wanted Molly back. They said they were sorry they panicked. The owner's wife had cried watching our video. They offered Molly her job again, and a raise. But I told Molly it was her choice. She said yes. She went back that weekend. But Justine? She didn't post for 3 days. Then 5. Then she locked her account. Then one day, her house was quiet. No car in the driveway. Curtains closed. A week later, a moving truck pulled up. She was gone. Just like that. When Justine moved out, there was no goodbye. No note. No apology. Her house sat dark for weeks. Eventually, a for sale sign went up. I won't lie, I felt good when I saw it. I felt like justice had been done. I stood on my porch that morning and stared at that sign for a long time. I even smiled. But the thing about revenge is, it doesn't just leave scars on the person you're aiming at. Sometimes it leaves them on you too. After Justine vanished, things in the neighborhood changed. People looked at us differently. Some were supportive. Others avoided us. Like they didn't want to be the next story. Like standing up for my kid had somehow made us dangerous. A few moms whispered that I went too far. That I exposed too much. That I should have just gone to the police or asked for the video to be taken down. But no one said that when Molly was crying in her room, thinking she was the problem. Let me be clear, I don't regret what I did. But I started seeing it in my daughter's eyes. Every time someone recognized her at school or whispered in the hallway, she became that girl from the video. Even if it wasn't her fault. Her name got tied to the mess. She told me one night, "I didn't ask to be anyone's symbol." That hit hard. I'd wanted to protect her. And I did. I made sure the truth came out. I made sure the woman who hurt her paid for it. But I also dragged my daughter into a spotlight she never wanted. Even when she went back to the bakery, people stared. Some treated her like a hero. Others looked at her like she was fragile, breakable. It made her uncomfortable either way. As for Justine, I found out through Leah that she moved to Charlotte. Started a new account under a different name. Smaller following. Tamer content. No more exposés. No more fake outrage. She lost her brand deals. Lost her monetization. A few people called her out on the new account, but she deleted those comments. She learned to stay quiet. Sometimes I wonder if she ever really understood what she did. If she still believes she was the victim. If she watches her old videos and still thinks she was saving someone. I don't know. What I do know is this: my daughter got her job back. She saved up for her car. She drove herself to school the day she turned 17. And she looked me in the eyes before she left and said, "Thanks for fighting for me. But next time, don't fight so loud." So no, I don't regret exposing Justine. But I've learned that revenge always costs something. Even when you win. And sometimes the hardest part is learning to live with what you had to become to get it.